Imagine the vast, unforgiving steppe, a land of endless horizons, where life was brutal and survival a daily fight. Here, a young boy named Temüjin, stripped of his father and abandoned by his tribe, battled starvation, slavery, and relentless enemies. He was hunted. He was captured. He was just a flicker of life, easily extinguished by the harsh realities of the 12th century. But what if that flicker was extinguished? What if Temüjin, the future Genghis Khan, never escaped his captors? What if he died young, a forgotten soul on the windswept plains, before he could ever dream of uniting the warring Mongol tribes? No thunderous hooves. No unified horde. The very course of human history, utterly derailed. First, the immediate aftermath. Without Temüjin's unparalleled vision and ferocity, the Mongol tribes remain a fractured collection of clans, constantly feuding, raiding, but never coalescing into the unstoppable force that would eventually shake continents. The steppe remains a perilous, isolated region, its internal conflicts keeping it from projecting power outwards. The grand ambitions of conquest, the strategic brilliance that forged an empire stretching from the Pacific to the Danube, it simply vanishes, unwritten. Now, let's turn our gaze eastward, to China. In our timeline, the Mongol invasions devastated the Jin dynasty in the north and eventually swallowed the mighty southern Song in the south, creating the Yuan dynasty. But in this alternate world, the Jin and southern Song continue their long, bloody struggle. The southern Song, with its advanced economy and massive population, might even eventually absorb the weakened Jin, unifying China under native rule centuries earlier than the Ming dynasty did historically. Imagine a China, never subjected to foreign rule, continuing its technological and cultural golden age unhindered, perhaps even accelerating beyond our own history. Move west, to the heart of the Islamic world. The Mongol horde's arrival was a catastrophe. Baghdad, the glittering jewel of the Abbasid Caliphate, was sacked with unimaginable brutality. Libraries burned, scholars perished, and the Islamic Golden Age, arguably, never fully recovered. But in this new reality, Baghdad remains. The Abbasid Caliphate, though perhaps still weakened by internal strife and external pressures from the Seljuks or Ayyubids, would continue its intellectual and spiritual legacy. The destruction that erased centuries of knowledge simply doesn't happen. The Mamluks of Egypt might never rise to the same prominence, as their defining victory against the Mongols at Ain Jalut never occurs. The political landscape of the Middle East would be utterly unrecognizable. And what of Europe? In our timeline, the Mongol Golden Horde swept through Kievan Rus, isolating Russia from Western Europe for centuries, shaping its unique autocratic development. They ravaged Poland and Hungary, reaching as far as the Adriatic Sea before turning back. Without Genghis Khan, Europe is spared this apocalyptic terror. Russia would develop without the Mongol yoke, potentially integrating more closely with Western European powers, leading to a vastly different political and cultural evolution. Eastern Europe might flourish, its nascent kingdoms free from the devastation that stifled their growth for generations. The Teutonic Knights and other Crusader states, without the Mongol threat to their east, might focus their expansion elsewhere, perhaps even renewing their efforts in the Holy Land. But the ripple effects don't stop there. The Pax Mongolica, despite its brutal genesis, facilitated an unprecedented exchange of goods, ideas, and technologies across Eurasia. The Silk Road, revitalized and made safe under Mongol rule, saw everything from gunpowder and printing presses to compasses and new agricultural techniques travel between East and West. Without it, the spread of these innovations would be far slower, more fractured. Would Europe still experience its renaissance at the same time, with the same fervor, if crucial knowledge arrived centuries later, or not at all? Even the Black Death, which devastated Europe and Asia, is thought by some historians to have spread more efficiently along the Mongol trade routes. Without that interconnectedness, would the plague have been as widespread, as deadly? A world with a far larger population, perhaps, a world utterly changed by the absence of one man. From the rise of nations to the flow of knowledge, from religious doctrines to global demographics, the death of a single boy on the vast steppe would have remade the very fabric of our world. It's a chilling reminder of how fragile history truly is, and how one life can echo through eternity. What other pivotal moments do you think could have shattered our timeline? Share your thoughts below, and if you found this journey through an alternate past as fascinating as we did, Be sure to subscribe for more thought-provoking What IFS.